Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of podcast with Pranit. I know बहुत सारे महीने we haven't shot an podcast, but I think कि आज के जो हमारे guest है वो सारे महीनों की कमी पूरी कर देंगे. The guest we have today is a multitasker. He's a dancer, he's a choreographer, he's a freestyler. He makes music, he makes album cover, he's a graphic designer. He plays instruments और ये शक्तिमान भी है शायद. तो just welcome to our today's guest, Swapnil ExT.
Thank you for having me. I'm good.
How are you, sir?
doing?
Good, ekdam great, mast. And congratulations to you for becoming a father. Please, जिन्होंने इनको wish नहीं किया, आप इनके जाओ और DM में लिखो. Let me just start there. ठीक है कि how is it like क्या?
See, I've answered this question so many times, abhi tak, and the answer has been the same. It is inexplicable. I cannot really put those feelings or emotions into words. The journey so far has been quite enriching. A lot of wisdom. Just like abhi wo 6 mahine ka hone wala hai. So just in these 6 months there's been so much of learning for me, my wife, for our families, right? The grandparents, the buas and the mamas and everybody. But for us it's been a very enriching journey in terms of how much there is to learn about ourselves, how much there is to unlearn about ourselves, and to be able to provide for him, to be able to be the best versions of ourselves जितना भी हो सके. And वो बोलते हैं ना, तुम बेटा जब तुम्हारे बच्चे होंगे ना तुमको समझ आएगा. Truer words haven't been said. So I think it's an experiential thing, right? You experience it and only then you can fully understand the magnitude of it, and you will still understand it from your perspective.
तो वो जो प्रिपरेशन था पीरियड लाइक लास्ट 9 months 6 months से पहले वाले 9 months लाइक यू मस्ट हैव थॉट कि ऐसा होगा ये ऐसा होगा. वाज इट लाइक दैट?
Partially. A lot of it we did like extensive research, right? We tried to figure out कि ऐसा होगा तो क्या कर सकते हैं, ऐसा होगा तो क्या. But something that we did not take into consideration for some reason was that we will only have a natural birth, like unmedicated birth, right? That's what we had planned for. So it was going to be a water birth, or unmedicated, even if not water. So no medical intrusion of any sort. So it was at a birthing center, not at a hospital. Yeah, and it was a long labor for my wife Damini, but there were some complications, and then we had to rush to the hospital for an emergency C-section. Now that is something that we did not want, and that is why we very conveniently, did not take it into consideration, because we did not want it. We did not want it to happen. क्योंकि हमने बहुत इसके बारे में वो किया कि नहीं ऐसे करते हैं. So we wanted to be surrounded by a certain sort of energy and stuff. So we ended up going to the hospital, and you know how hospitals are. You are anxious right from the point you enter into it, right? So that was something that we couldn't really prepare for. But then the way it happened, it was, I think, probably the most relieving parts of the whole experience for Damini. And when it finally happened, it was like everything's worth it, right? That's what you feel. Like, yes, I'm so happy to see you. Namaste.
You knew it's a boy?
No. They told us obviously after the birth happened, and we were we were like very much inclined towards having a girl. And we had everything, like dreams and people telling हाँ तुम्हारा belly का shape ऐसा है, तो all of those things, and most of them said it's a girl, but it doesn't really matter. It's a child, it's a human, and he can turn out to be anybody. right? And he can grow up to be anyone. So it's just like a bundle of joy on that particular day. Yeah, but yeah, those 9 months were something else. Then that whole 26-hour labor was something else. And now the 6 months post delivery, it's just something else. You cannot really compare either of them. But yeah, I think we're keeping up.
नाइस. करते हैं डांस से स्टार्ट ही करते हैं. आप बताओ कि when what is your first memory looks like of dancing?
So I think 5 years old, maybe. I don't remember exactly. But I was this little dude. We had this small house, like one room kitchen sort of a thing. And I was on the bed, right, the cot, and shelves the shelf में there's this tape recorder. उसमें my dad, with that cassette, he has probably like a Boney M cassette or something. That music is playing, and I'm just doing this like a little dude, right? It's just wilding out, and I don't know why, but that is the first memory I have of me dancing. And I remember the appreciation or the love that I was getting from my parents, and everyone like, oh yeah, and like, yeah, this must be really good. So um, I was like, right from that point of time, ye kida tha andar. And anyway, uh, like on my dad's side, everyone loves to dance. Everyone loves music. My mom loves music, so that inclination was always there as a child. Even as siblings, I have two brothers and one sister, all elder to me. We are all inclined to listening to good music and dancing and all that. My brother he's also a professional dancer. He teaches and he travels around the world. He's in the Afro Latin dance community. He's also been a part of the Indian underground scene for a few years. So he also does a lot of styles. So that way, it's been um, it's been very familiar. Dancing has been very familiar. It's been like an extension of me, and it never felt like I'm trying to learn something external, but something that I already know, but I just don't know how to do it. So the the seeds were always there.
There was no kind of restriction या फिर कि मत करो.
Not really. That way, my parents have been very supportive. There were restrictions about the basic things like कि पढ़ाई कर लो. Don't get straight into believing that this is more important than anything else. You need to be well rounded with everything. So we were encouraged to play sports, uh, get involved in co-curricular activities, dancing, singing. In fact, whenever I was asked as a child कि तुम बड़े होकर क्या बनोगे, मैं बोलता था कि मैं एक्टर बनूंगा. Yeah, I was very much into the whole idea, and my mom took it seriously. She took me for auditions. I got through the auditions, and then I did this TV serial called Kids Zindabad. Yeah, it used to air on Doordarshan. I did a few episodes. It was these were basically moral stories adapted from the Bible, and trying like tweaked for a modern audience. But it was good. I was in my eighth standard when I got a check of 1,800 rupees, and I was so happy. I was so proud. Like I was giving money to my parents. Like, Gio, kuch raho. Do whatever you want. Party kar lena aaj. So it felt good. It felt good that I could do that. Then I had an experience that was not really. I don't know. I got a letter from a very leading director that you are selected for a movie. It's a feature film, and it had like big stars in it. You have to pay this much amount to be a part of it. I did not like that. I did not like the fact that I have to pay, and my family was not very well to do financially, and I used to always have that in the back of my mind whenever I used to do anything. I was like, no, I cannot, place more burden financially here. So it didn't make sense to me. I was like, nahi, theek hai. And then that experience kind of, scarred me about acting and how the industry works and stuff. So I've 10th aaya, I took boards as the excuse and just drifted away from it.
सो डांस कब आया आपकी लाइफ में?
Professionally, um, s- again in school, I was dancing, I was doing choreographies, and Teachers Day होता था तो हाँ स्वप्निल चलो करना है performance. Children's Day होता था हाँ चलो, Annual Day होता था चलो. So I got used to being a dancer, right? And then I used to make choreographies for my friends. I used to go to their colleges and teach them. Then I started making mixes, like like song mixes for them, and even for myself. I started competing in solos and stuff. So competitive side of it started quite early, through school and college itself. Um, when I was probably, I think 2009 maybe. 2009 I started teaching at a studio.
हाउ ओल्ड यू आर?
2009 मतलब 19 19. I started teaching way before that, but like at a studio, right? Like a dance studio in the city. So I started teaching and it felt nice. The first time I entered the studio, a wooden floor for us at that time would be like a dream. It was like a luxury because I used to practice on my terrace, or at my friend's place, and it was like hard concrete floor, right? I used to go in the afternoon to practice with my shadow so that I have some sort of, without a mirror. So having mirrors and having a wooden floor and having like a good sound system was like, damn. And I'm getting paid for this. Wow, it's a win-win for me. And I didn't care what the pay was. I didn't care kya hai, whatever they were offering. I was like, yeah, let's do it. And it was not bad, but it was not great. But whatever it was good for me at that time. And I started earning also at that age. That helped me provide for my family again. That also helped me um, kind of provide for my crew as well. They would eventually start earning, but at that time it was mainly me, like teaching at studios and stuff. So
व्हाट क्रू इट वाज?
it's called Proximity Crew.
प्रॉक्सिमिटी ओनली। आपने कब स्टार्ट किया?
2010 we started dancing a long back, but um, uh, we formed the crew around 2010, and then 2011 it became like a proper battle crew.
और सारे ब्रेकर्स है उसमें या?
अभी सारे ब्रेकर्स हैं, एक पॉपर है, but it has always been a mix, but dominated mostly by the style of breaking.
2009 you started teaching. What you used to teach?
Hip hop, breaking, फिर उसमें because it's a dance studio, right? You do a lot of Hindi music पे you create choreographies. Through that, I also started learning more because if I need to teach, I need to be able to equip. I need to be able to uh, share the right kind of knowledge, and I need to be equipped with that. So I started training myself more. I started traveling more for battles, for workshops. My first breaking workshop was with B-Boy Gonza, and that was quite an eye opener for all of us. The entire crew was there. Then we met Storm, we met B-Boy Thesis, um, and then so many people along the way, right? Khalif, Hiro, when Hiro had come down to Mumbai, famous ne bulaya tha. That was another. It was a checkpoint in my career or in my life, because that is when my dancing transformed. From whatever he gave in his workshop, I took it back home with me. I labbed on it real hard, and then the changes started showing.
ये सेम चीज तनुज ने भी बोली कि लाइक हीरो आया एंड ऐसा ऐसा क्या हुआ उस वर्कशॉप में कि
So I'll tell you something, okay? I'll give you like a brief gist of it. I'll dramatize it a little just for kicks. So the who's who of the Indian dance scene, especially the house club dancing scene, They were present there, right? I was there, Das was there, Elvis was there, Ronnie was there, Tanuj, Prithvi, like a good strong scene there, right? So Hero starts his workshop and he asks us to dance, and he asks us to the basic, the bounce and the jack, and then everyone does it. Then he stops the music, and then he says something on the lines of that we are not ready yet, that we don't know how to dance yet. And it was, matlab, that was the first peeling off of that ego. That frog in the well has come out, basically, right? The frog now sees a bigger well. So now everyone was like, what is he saying? So he stopped, and the entire workshop, he gave us like these three grooves to work with. All right, with your torso and your hip, and then you add it to your vocabulary. आपको लूज लेग्स करना है, जो भी करना है. These are the main things. First, the bounce. Then he gave us a lateral groove, the same groove to different time, like accent के साथ. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, yeah, 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, yeah, 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2. इसका कितना डिफरेंस आता है डांसिंग व्हेन यू आर डूइंग इट एज मूवमेंट, इसका कितना डिफरेंस दिखता है. And then he did it and he showed it to us. I was like, wow, right? So I am learning dancing from the perspective of music. This was for me very refreshing. उससे पहले मैंने सीखा, बहुत सारे वर्कशॉप्स लिए, everyone went into the foundational aspect of something. India में very nascent stage, right? Still growing. So anyone who's coming is just giving the basics. So I've learned from the functionality of understanding the technical elements of dancing and कि form कैसा होना चाहिए, strength कैसे आएगा, workout ये करना चाहिए, वो करना चाहिए, थोड़े combos and all that. But now I'm being taught about timing, and I am connecting it with my music production. Like, अच्छा ये हो रहा है, oh you. So for me, it's a different feeling, right? I'm having like this overwhelming thought of, wow, this is also connected, right? But I'm not able to apply it in my movement. Then I realize that that's a very big gap, right? I did it, everyone did it in the workshop, right? Everyone did the groove, everyone got it, but you don't really get it till you get it. You know, you have to take it back with you and then really drill it till you get some of your own variations from it. तुम्हारा खुद का कुछ बनने लगता है, right? That started happening. तो वो 3 ग्रूव मैं आज तक प्रैक्टिस करता हूँ, क्योंकि it it set the tone for me as a dancer, as a mover, and to me being able to understand कि इसको ऐसे समझ सकते हैं. It pretty much set the tone for also how I teach, how I explored my teaching and my way of gathering information. कि आप एक, मतलब हीरो ने ऐसा नहीं कुछ सिखाया कि दिस इज हाउ यू नीड टू अप्रोच इट. हीरो ने अपना जो उसको बताना था उसने बताया. इट इज ऑलवेज अप टू द स्टूडेंट टू टेक मोर देन व्हाट द टीचर इज गिविंग. सो fortunately at that point of time in my life I was able to do that, and the way it helped me, बस उसके बाद सब कुछ ट्रांसफॉर्म हो गया. And then I started getting down in house battles after a lot of training. Then in 1 year I think I won some consecutive 4, 5 titles, big ones, nice, good judges, nice DJs. So that gave me a lot of like validation and confidence. Then I started moving out of house. My first style was popping. Then I got into breaking. Then I got into house. Hip hop and house साथ में ही हो रहा था. Actually hip hop started before house, but the way I explore hip hop now, it started simultaneously because of those grooves, right? They're so deeply interconnected, these styles, also because of the music forms. So yeah, मतलब अभी तुम ये एक इसको एक बेसिक लेकर चलो कि तुम जो भी क्वेश्चन मुझे पूछोगे, आंसर मोस्ट प्रॉब्ली ये रहेगा कि इट्स ऑल कनेक्टेड. तो ये एक अपना तुम बेसिक लेके चलो यहाँ से. बट या,
बट यू स्टार्टेड विद पॉपिंग, फिर ब्रेकिंग में आ रहे हो आप, एंड आप सीख कहाँ से रहे हो?
my first this thing with popping. So obviously, most Indians, right, growing up, they had similar influences. Say Boogie Woogie, You Got Served, Step Up, Storm the Yard, Rise, Beat Street, Break In, all of these things, right? We are watching all these movies or documentaries. Wild Style ho gaya, and then we used to watch this B-boy unit battles a lot. B-boy unit करके एक event है उसका, and like a lot of things, right? So at that time, it was either you travel and meet people, learn from them, or learn while observing them, like while dancing with them, right? Then you train with your crew. The crew culture was like really big in India. It was really, really big. There were so many crews, and all the crews are training together, and that is why dancers from that time, they have their hands and legs in almost every style. Sub style का कुछ ना कुछ पता होता है, right? And they are able to do the basics of it, and the way they move also is so different. Like the way dancers are being brought up now, they are exposed to a certain style of movement that is uh, that they are exposed to in a very, मतलब ease of access बहुत है कि आप Instagram खोले आपको वीडियोस है, आप YouTube खोले आपको वीडियोस मिल जाएंगे, बहुत सारे वीडियोस, राइट? तब ऐसा नहीं था. You used to get videos on the internet, but not at this frequency. And YouTube was also a fresh thing, right? तो हमारे सीखने का जरिया यही था कि आप वीडियोस आप जितने देख सकते हो आप देखो. We used to search for like torrents of b-boy content or dancing content. Storm का DVD मिला था हमको. Storm has his footwork fundamentals DVDs. मतलब that pretty much changed the scene, not just here in India but globally. And then a lot of videos basically, and then watching these movies, watching these shows. Rohan and Group hai, Fictitious Crew hai, and then parallelly whatever I'm influenced through the rapping community in India. In that Orkut, एक insignia करके एक Orkut पे एक community था, उसमें like a lot of current rappers were a part of that. So उससे मुझे again, I'm getting the feel of hip hop culture a lot from multiple places, right? So for me, learning was always through that. Uh, at home, me and my brother are like researching, chilling, dancing. I have my crew. We are training together. या हम साथ में travel कर रहे हैं, trains में जा रहे हैं, buses में जा रहे हैं, मजा कर रहे हैं. It's a whole vibe, right? When you're traveling together with your friends. We used to go to, like, say, a Bangalore with 3,000 in our pockets. सब कुछ करके आते थे. ट्रैवल, स्टे, फूड, बैटल रजिस्ट्रेशन, सब कुछ, और पैसे बचा कर आते थे. बिकॉज द वे वी यूज टू लिव इन दोज पीरियड्स ऑफ टाइम, कि हमको द मेन गोल इज आप जाओ, आप बैटल करो और आओ. एवरीथिंग एल्स यू विल टेक केयर ऑफ. ठीक है. सो हम साथ में बंकअप करके रहना. If the venue is not very far away, you are not taking any transport, you are walking to the venue. Even if it is, let's say it is 6-7 kilometers, you will think कि हाँ चलो इतना तो मैं चल लूँगा. And then you pull in like some 10 rupees, 20 rupees, whatever, एक रिक्शा में बैठ गए और थोड़ा थोड़ा आगे निकल गए. So we used to do a lot of जुगाड़, and not just us, crews and dances from all across India. Like there are so many stories, people traveling in like general class, people sitting beside the toilets in the trains and traveling like long hours to get into a battle, an event. Like the intensity and passion from that time is basically the foundational stone. right? That intensity, that intention, that passion converted into having a more solid structure. तब ऐसा कुछ ज़्यादा discipline नहीं होता था. People would not care much about workouts. There were few, most of them wouldn't. People would not care about discipline that much. Events कैसे organize करना है, people are still learning. So a lot of things pretty much created, like the what, how do I call it, the blueprint, right, for what the Indian scene is right now, in terms of dancers, the way dancers move right now. The influence might be global, बट जो उसका एसेंस आ रहा है ना, जो इंडियननेस उसका, जहाँ उसको समझने की जो जो पर्सपेक्टिव है उसको समझने का, वो इट इज कमिंग फ्रॉम अ वेरी फाउंडेशनल स्पेस दैट like dances from our time or the time before us they create. So that way learning has always been a passed on thing कि हमको ये आता है तुम ये सीख लो. So we used to learn it through videos, through traveling, workshops, people, battles. यही होता था. And that is why you get to learn these multiple styles, right? आप पॉपिंग भी सीख रहे हो, लॉकिंग भी सीख रहे हो, हाउस भी सीख रहे हो, ब्रेकिंग भी सीख रहे हो. क्रम्प मुझे तब पसंद नहीं था, अभी पसंद है, बट तब नहीं पसंद था तो मैं क्रम्प नहीं सीखा. बट आई लव द मूवी राइज. आई लव हाउ it was shown in that कि clowning क्या है, क्रम्प क्या है, and how they are interconnected, what changed, what happened. So learning the history again for me was a very important thing that helped me understand कि ये culture आ कहाँ से रहा है, the way I'm moving, why am I moving this way. So yeah, these things pretty much set the tone for the way I learn even till today. जैसे अभी एफ्रो स्टाइल्स के बारे में हमने बात की थी थोड़ी देर पहले, राइट, कि अभी मैं कुछ सीखूंगा, अगले साल तक कुछ और ट्रेंडिंग में आ जाएगा, बट ये जो ट्रेंड में आ रहा है, दे आर कमिंग फ्रॉम समथिंग दैट इज ऑलरेडी देयर, समथिंग दैट इज ऑलरेडी प्रेजेंट. So the things, if you can spend your time with those things, right, the fundamental, the foundational things, तो ये सारी चीजें आपको समझ भी आएंगी एंड आपको ज्यादा टाइम भी नहीं लगेगा उसको करने में. या
तो मेरे को ना लगता है जर्नी जो बेसिकली आर्ट जर्नी आपकी, तो या तो दो टाइप की हो सकती है. एक जो आपका स्ट्रगलिंग फेज़ है, जहाँ पे यू आर सेइंग कि 3000 में हम लोग जा रहे हैं, ऐसे जा रहे हैं, कैसे भी करके. तब ऑल यू आर थिंकिंग कि ठीक है डांस वांस कर रहे हैं, बट अगर थोड़ा रहने का अच्छा हो जाता, थोड़ा खाना अच्छा मिल जाता, तो यू आर होपिंग फॉर दैट ऑल्सो. बट अगेन यू आर सेइंग कि द पैशन इज दैट टाइट कि करना ही है. डू यू थिंक कि when there is an ease in the process, ठीक है, हमको ऐसा लगता है कि ट्रैवल सही हो जाएगा, फूड सही हो जाएगा, ये सही हो जाएगा, आई हैव अ गुड क्लोज, आई हैव अ फैमिली सपोर्ट, आई कैन गो एंड पीसफुली गो एंड डू दैट थिंग. बट डू यू थिंक इट वर्क्स, दैट ईजनेस इन द प्रोसेस, क्या वो पैशन आपका कम कर देती है?
हाँ, good question. See, a lot of us, what we do is when we learn things and when we do not have the means to learn it, we romanticize it. We romanticize the way we are learning it. कि यार हमने ना ऐसे किया, जैसे like how I spoke about it, हमने ऐसे किया यार, हमने ना, we used to travel this way, we used to travel this way. Now the person who doesn't have the need to romanticize it will view it from a different place. It is very straightforward. हाँ, जा रहा हूँ, सीख रहा हूँ, वापस आ रहा हूँ. Anything that is connected to it is just like a bonus. But when I talk about it, I'm not talking about कि मैंने workshop क्या लिया. I didn't tell you that. मैंने battle कहाँ किया, क्या किया, I didn't tell you that. But I told you about हमने ये किया. So that took prominence for us. That basically set the kind of mentality that a whole generation of dancers had. Like a whole generation is just thinking about getting there somehow. बहुत लोग तो बिना रिटर्न के आते थे, रिटर्न के बारे में बिना सोचे कि पैसे क्या है नहीं है, पैसे नहीं होते थे रिटर्न के लिए, फिर भी आ जाते थे विथ द कॉन्फिडेंस कि हम बैटल जीत जाएंगे, विद द प्राइस मनी आई विल बाय माय टिकट्स एंड गो बैक. नहीं होता था तो देन दे वुड आस्क पीपल और फिगर समथिंग आउट, घर पे पूछ लिया, कुछ भी. बट दे वर केसेस लाइक दीज एज वेल. सो व्हेन देयर इज अ लैक, you kind of compensate that with romanticization. Now where I am currently in my life, not financially or anything, but as a person, I don't think you should glorify it in you should glorify that particular space in a way where, you know, this is what everyone should do. It's true that we did it, and it also felt great. Like when you called it struggle, it didn't make sense to me when I was listening to you call it struggle कि ऐसे जा रहे वैसे जा रहे. For me it was the fun element of it. Like अभी भी हम याद करते थे और हम खुश होते हैं. हम ऐसे नहीं सोचते कि थैंक गॉड यार वो टाइम खत्म हो गया. ऐसे नहीं सोचते. We reminisce it and think about it in very, like we think about it very fondly कि क्या मजा आता था यार, क्या मतलब, बिकॉज दोज टाइम्स वर ऑल्सो अबाउट स्पेंडिंग टाइम विथ योर क्रू. दोस्तों के साथ मजा कर रहे हैं, बैटल भी कर रहे हैं, सीख भी रहे हैं. You're getting hurt, you're learning so many things, you're also going to like doctors a day before. मेरे साथ हुआ था. I popped my knee a day before the event, and रात को we are looking for a doctor for, you know, to set my knee or whatever. फिर वो सब हो रहा है, and a lot of things, right? So I don't want to glorify that part क्योंकि it is coming from a lack. That means it can be supported through working for it financially and developing a certain mindset. If I want to do this, I'll support myself by doing this. If I want my parents to help me, it will not be 100% them. I want to put in something from my side, right? So that is a mentality that will help. But coming to your question about how it can affect the passion, I don't think it affects the passion. It will just be different. You are just viewing it from a different lens, right? आपकी जर्नी ही अलग है, आपकी एक्सपीरियंस ही अलग है. अगर आप if you have the ease of reaching the event venue without any कि कैसे पहुंचेंगे यार, ये क्या हो रहा है, वो क्या, you're just like हाँ बैठेंगे निकल जाएंगे पहुंच जाएंगे. If your thought process is that simple, then there is some sort of ease that is there for you. तो वो तुम्हारा एक्सपीरियंस है, but that doesn't really negate the passion that you have. Maybe even through all of this, it is the passion that is allowing you to create that ease for you.
Yeah.
Right? To be maybe that passion is supporting your need to be present there, and that is why that passion is fueling you, supporting yourself by earning, or you know, by having maybe having a family that can support you. Maybe you can talk to your family about these things. कुछ भी हो सकता है, right? They are just different things. That's what I feel. In their own way, in their own regard, they have their own experiences. Yeah. So you said something, right? So if I can rephrase it, you basically meant कि आपके पास कोई चीज नहीं है. There is some sort of lack जिसकी आपके लाइफ में स्ट्रगल है. उसके लिए, उसकी वजह से आपके अंदर एक गुस्सा है, which you channel into art, which according to you is the passion, correct, that we have for things. So where is this passion coming from? Is it coming from lack or is it coming from desire?
Desire.
Lack और desire का ये connection रहता ही है हमेशा, right? Sometimes you have things but you still desire. जैसे अमीर को और अमीर बनना ही रहता है,
Yes.
right? गरीब को भी अमीर बनना रहता है, अमीर को भी अमीर बनना रहता है. That need, that desire doesn't go down. Your passion may or may not always be there. I personally don't depend on passion anymore. Your passion can also lead you into a place which might not be very helpful for you. Just because you think, नहीं यार ये तो मुझे करना ही है कुछ भी करके. So you're putting your body on the line, you're putting your health, your money, your time, everything on the line, saying नहीं ये तो मुझे करना ही है. It's a risk that pays off for a few but doesn't for many. And your passion can be your friend if you don't let it consume you. Anything for that matter, passion हो या कुछ भी हो, when you can see it for नहीं अब ये थोड़ा ज़्यादा हो रहा है, I don't need to do it this much, because there are some standards ना कि एथलीट अगर है ना तो तुझे 50 पुशअप तो आने ही चाहिए. तो तभी मतलब you can be like a say a boxer, right? if you are running, then you have to know these many squats or lunges or whatever, right? So there are standards and benchmarks for everything. अगर आपको ये करना है मतलब ये तो आपको आना ही पड़ेगा उसके लिए. तो इसके चक्कर में ना वी लूज साइट ऑफ आवर सेल्व्स. नहीं यार मुझे तो ये करना ही चाहिए, मुझे ये करना ही पड़ेगा शायद, बट ज़रूरी नहीं है. देर आर मेनी वेज टू लर्न थिंग्स एंड डू थिंग्स in smarter ways, which I'm starting to understand, right? The way we move our bodies, the way we train them, there are so many ways. But when you come from a place where you've seen hardships na, जिसको हम struggle बोलते हैं, right? When you come from a place where you've seen hardships, you see the hard way as the only way to do things, and you start falling in love with that part of you. मैं तो ऐसे में भी कर लूंगा, मैं तो इसमें भी जी लूंगा, मैं तो ऐसे, बट क्यों? ज़रूरत है नहीं वैसे, बट you are saying that you can and that is why you will, right? Same logic, apply it in anything else. Because you can do it smartly, you will, है ना? तो this is what I feel personally कि हम पैशन को बहुत सीरियसली ले लेते हैं and we lose sight of relaxation, doing nothing, spending time with yourself, with your thoughts, discipline. Your passion might not allow discipline to bloom in you, क्योंकि नहीं यार मुझे तो म्यूजिक चलाना और बस तोड़ फोड़ करना है, बट आई जस्ट वांट टू मूव, राइट? बट डिसिप्लिन इज लाइक नहीं, म्यूजिक चला ठीक है, बट यू नो practice that one groove that you were kind of not getting it. Just do that over and over again. Be monotonous, repeat it. But your passion will नहीं, आज मस्ती करते हैं, आज खत्म कर देते सब, आज मैं लोगों को दिखा दूंगा, है ना? तो so this is a version of passion. Passion can be indomitable, passion can be ruthless, passion can also be very subtle, soothing, friendly. That's how I see it. It doesn't have to be extreme. हम बहुत करते हैं हर चीज़ को एक्सट्रीम्स में लेकर जाना और उसको उसी नज़रिए से देखना, हम ये बहुत करते हैं. I think we can relax on that bit a little.
And when did this self-discovery started?
Long back. I used to be bullied in school, and then one day I fought back. बहुत ऐसा ड्रामेटिक था वो. आपको do you know the lice game? Lice. Probably it's a Hyderabad thing or a South thing, I don't know. So it's a very stupid game. You just say lies after 1 hour. Okay? That means 1 घंटे के बाद आप आके मारोगे. गेम का यही है, गेम ही है कि आप मारोगे. जो पहले दिख गया, जो पहले देख लिया वो मारेगा, जो दिख गया वो मार खाएगा, राइट? सो यू गिव अ टाइम, लाइज आफ्टर 3 hours, लाइज आफ्टर 1 hour, व्हाटएवर. तो ये स्कूल में बहुत लोग खेलते थे, एंड आई यूज्ड टू बी वेरी टिमिड, very short in school, timid frame, tiny guy sort of, and there was this huge guy, उसका और मेरा लाइस हो गया. And in school I used to be very people pleasing to make up for a lack that I felt in myself, right? तो मैं बहुत सारी ऐसी चीज़ें करता था जो मैं नहीं करना चाहता था, बट आई यूज्ड टू डू इट बिकॉज सोशली एक्सेप्टेबल है ये, राइट? सो दिस वॉज वन ऑफ देम कि हाँ लाइस सब लोग कर रहे हैं, मैं भी कर लेता हूँ. मुझे पसंद नहीं था कि ये क्या मार क्यों रहे एक दूसरे को, बट इट्स लाइक नहीं, सब कर रहे हैं तो फन ही होता होगा. हाँ फन, सब बोल रहे हैं फन, हाँ ठीक है, फन. सो आई स्टार्टेड डूइंग इट, एंड देन this guy, he would wait for that. It was like he would look at his watch, wait for 1 hour to happen, hide from me, then look for me, आके मुझे मारता था रोज, and he used to hit very hard, ठीक है, बहुत. And one day I was having my lunch, I was sitting alone and having my lunch. This guy comes out of nowhere and hits on my head real hard, and then I lost it, right? And then I started screaming back at him. He's like a proper bully, huge figure and very intimidating. And I started screaming back at him. Like, you मार रहा सर पे क्यों मारा ये? Then he's like, अच्छा तो मेरे पे चिल्ला रहा है, चल स्कूल के बाद मिल, वॉलीबॉल कोर्ट में आ जाना स्कूल के बाद, आफ्टर होम बेल मीट मी इन द वॉलीबॉल कोर्ट. मैं तब तो बोल दिया, हाँ हाँ चल देख लेंगे, हाँ वॉलीबॉल कोर्ट का कोई भी कोर्ट में आता, चल चल. और उसके बाद मेरी फट रही है कि भाई क्या होगा, क्या करने वाला हूँ मैं, ये क्या करने वाला है. एंड आई वुडंट गेट इनटू फाइट्स और एनीथिंग. एंड देन स्कूल में बात फैल गई कि भाई ये होने वाला है, इसका झगड़ा हो रहा है, होमवेल के बाद सब वॉलीबॉल कोर्ट में आ जाओ, ठीक है, सब आ जाओ. 3:30 होगा, 3:40 सब वहां पे मिलेंगे, ठीक है सब. और मुझे क्लास में सब बैठ के ऐसे देख रहे हैं, ये लड़ रहे हैं, बिकॉज आई एम दिस शॉर्ट गाय, राइट. एंड ही वाज लाइक, व्हाट होगा. फिर कोई हंस रहा है, कोई मजाक उड़ा रहा है, कोई तो बोल रहा है, गया तू गया तू गया तू तो गया आज. वो रहता है ना तारे जमीन पर, नाउ तो यू आर गॉन. वही हो रहा था मेरे साथ. आई वाज लाइक, ओह शिट, अभी क्या करें ब्रो. मैंने बोला बोल तो दिया है, ठीक है, अभी तो इज्जत की सवाल है, जो भी होगा मैं कर लूंगा जो. एंड देन आई एम सिटिंग एंड रिवाइंडिंग एंड लर्निंग ऑल माय WWE मूव्स. हाँ, स्लीपर होल्ड दे सकते हैं उसको, अपर कट देंगे उसको, क्लोज लाइन. So I'm doing all of this in my head, right? I'm coping basically. And then I'm looking at the watch जो क्लासरूम में देख रहा हूँ. 3:30 होमवेल. Everyone is like चलो 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 चलो. उनके लिए तो पॉपकॉर्न टाइम है ना, चलो 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 चलो. I am going like, मतलब गया मैं, अब तो गया. The scene is this, okay, we are walking towards the volleyball court. This guy is walking here, I am walking here. दोनों साथ में जा रहे हैं वॉलीबॉल, कुछ बात नहीं कर रहे. वेरी ऑकवर्ड एंड वी जस्ट वॉकिंग. ओके ओके ओके. जैसे वॉलीबॉल कोर्ट में आए, चल भाई आजा, तेरे को दिखाता हूँ, आजा आजा. देन हैदराबाद, राइट, यू आर स्पीकिंग हैदराबादी हिंदी. इट्स वेरी लाइक व्हेन यू गेट इनटू फाइट इन हैदराबादी हिंदी, इट्स वेरी ब्रश. अरे क्या कर रहा रे रे, इट बिकम्स लाइक दैट. वेरी फनी. हाँ, सो इट्स फनी. सो दिस गाय, हमने हाँ क्या करता रे, आ गया मैं वॉलीबॉल कोर्ट, आ गया, अभी क्या करता रे, दिखा दिखा, मारता मारता मार. एंड देन I don't know how, from where I got this energy, what, I pounced on him. I went for my sleeper hold और मैं छोड़ ही नहीं रहा उसको. I'm not letting him go. He's trying multiple things. He's punching me, he's pulling my hair, doing everything. I remember मेरा ये फट गया था पूरा. But I'm like, oh जी गया, खत्म हो गया. And I'm doing that and I'm feeling this power rise in me. Oh wow. Ooh, this is what it feels like. Okay, अभी तो. And people are realizing कि ये तो जीत रहा है, मतलब कि this other guy is trying everything in his power, but I am just doing one thing and I'm not letting it go. मैं अभी रो भी रहा हूँ, मैं चिल्ला भी रहा हूँ, तू क्या रे है, तू क्या मेरे से doing everything. And then our van driver uncle, he came, he saw, he was like, hey, क्या कर रहे, छोड़ो छोड़ो. Then I let him go. The entire, okay, this is the scene, the entire school almost, or the class at least, is in the volleyball court. They're watching and I let him go full, you know, disheveled and everything. He's looking at me, he's huffing and panting. I was looking, I'm just doing this. फिर इससे मेरे पास नक्का. And everyone is looking at me like, what did we just witness? And I'm walking out like this, पूरा एकदम तैश में. हाँ. That day something flipped. Then I became a bully. Because now I felt what the power feels like. So now anyone who's trying to act smart with me, I am being that guy. क्या रे, निकल यहाँ से चल, ये हो. So I became that guy. And I realized it much later. So this, I feel, this is something that, you know, happens. कि आप, coming back to that point, right, where you are thinking about your expectations and when did I get this self-discovery and all that. I started realizing, like, I had a heartbreak, and I started realizing it sends you on a trip, right? And you're thinking about all the things कि भाई क्या है, मतलब ये क्या, कैसे कैसे जी सकते हैं ऐसे situations में. And I started realizing a lot of things that I am doing. So one thing is, whenever something happens, bring your attention whenever possible, the sooner better, to yourself. Ki, what can I do better in this? Even if you feel like you've done everything possible, just talk to yourself, because that puts the power back with you. You're not dependent on someone to do right by you. You will start teaching yourself things. That is what at least I did. You don't have to do it, but that's what I did.
Have you been to therapy?
Yeah.
Acha.
That also helped me open up a lot of things about myself which I was not aware of. Like, there was this inner child workshop that I did once with an Italian facilitator, and मतलब that that was something else. बस उसके बाद मैं दूसरा इंसान ही बन गया.
I want to come to music and your graphic things. Like,
Yes.
when did that start? Because abhi every poster is like Swapnil ExT.
Again, it's all connected.
Yeah.
My dancing, my music, my design, all of these three, almost started together. So I had, like I told, right, I mentioned that I had been dancing since I was a child, but to take it up professionally, it happened at a time when I was introduced to the hip hop culture. कि पहले इसको सब वेस्टर्न डांस ही बोलते थे, वेस्टर्न डांस, वेस्टर्न डांस, राइट. बट व्हाट इज हिप हॉप में ब्रेकिंग क्या है, राइट, एंड हाउ पॉपिंग इज देन एन इंडिविजुअल थिंग, इट्स अ सेपरेट थिंग. इट्स फंक स्टाइल, फंक क्या है, ये क्या है, वो सोल म्यूजिक है, जैज म्यूजिक क्या है, oh, how is it going into, like, whatever, funk into disco, and then house, hip hop, what is this connection? This journey happened through me entering the rap community. So I love rapping. I love writing, and that is why I love rapping. And Insignia करके ऑर्कुट में community था, a lot of rappers there, a lot of good writers there. तो उसमें we had text battles. तो कोई आपको टेक्स्ट भेजेगा, आप उसको रेस्पॉन्ड करोगे, राइट. एंड आई यूज्ड टू लाइक टॉपिकल बैटल्स. मोस्ट ऑफ देम वर लाइक बीफ बैटल्स, कि आप किसी को कुछ बोल रहे हो, यू आर बीइंग कॉकी, द अदर गाय इज बीइंग कॉकी, दे आर रोस्टिंग ईच अदर, यही हो रहा है, राइट. आई वुडंट एंजॉय इट दैट मच. I used to like topical battles. If there is a certain topic, you need to talk about it through rhythm and poetry. So I used to do that, and I started getting props. So there was this one of the main people in that community. Her stage name was Speed Eyes. So, like, Speed Eyes was like, "Kaun hai Speed Eyes?" Nobody knew who Speed Eyes is. Aisa, there was this aura around her, right? And she's a fabulous writer. Okay, and I still remember I got props from her for a certain battle that I wrote, and I felt so good about it. I was like, wow, it feels so nice to get this validation from someone like that. And then there was this other person, Brasik. So these were like the people who probably started the community. I joined in later, obviously. Then audio battles started happening.
Okay.
So now people wanted beats for their audio battles, and I started making beats for that. Then I looked up, and then I found FL Studio, and I started making beats. Then I made one beat and I sent it to Brasik. Okay, and I sent the beat to him, and so he listened to the beat, and he came back to me. He said, "Your sense of rhythm is good, but the beat sucks." Then I was like, I didn't understand. Like, why are you saying that? Why? What is the feedback? What can I do to make it better?
Yeah.
He said, "You're not following time. Your beat is not on time." Obviously, बिकॉज आई एम मेकिंग द बीट बाय ईयर. मैं बजा रहा हूँ और सुन रहा हूँ और उसके हिसाब से सेटअप कर रहा हूँ पूरा. आई एम नॉट फॉलोइंग अ स्ट्रक्चर एनीथिंग. देन आई वाज इंट्रोड्यूस्ड टू समथिंग कॉल्ड मेट्रोनोम. कि there is a thing called metronome that will give you the time for whatever your BPM is, and that will give you the space कि कहाँ पे कितना distance में बना है. That will give you your regular intervals basically. आप उसके साथ बनाओ. Then that gave me a push into making beats, making music, right? और फिर इन्हीं battles के लिए, इन्हीं audios के लिए people wanted album arts.
Yeah.
Right? So they would ask कि कोई है क्या? I was like हाँ मैं बनाता हूँ. Then I made this album art called it was called the Burns Ward. Okay, the album was called Burns Ward. It had tracks from like different community members. The brief was we need a Burns Ward. तो मैंने हॉस्पिटल डाला और उसमें पूरा आग भर दिया. आग 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 हर जगह आग है. आग 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 लगा डाला. So and they loved it. I was like, wow, it's really good. Now if you look at the poster, I think they were just being nice, but but that is how it started.
Yeah.
This was way back. Probably, I mean, my tryst with music, with rapping started around 2005, 2004 something. फिर वहीं पे connecting it with dancing and everything. Then eventually getting into awkward and then learning about these things and then continuing having my own songs. I started writing my own songs. That helped me develop a certain taste and an understanding about music. वो dancing में आना ही था फिर.
Yeah. तो what has become your main source of income उसके बाद?
It depends. Mostly it is design, because that is the most that goes out. मैं अपना डांसिंग ज़्यादा डालता नहीं ऑनलाइन. मैं अपना डिज़ाइन वर्क्स भी आजकल ज़्यादा नहीं डालता. पहले डालता था, वो भी नहीं डालता हूँ. Now I'm sharing my dancing mostly when it is something that I've done with a certain company or something. Otherwise, I'm not really sharing my personal sessions or whatever. It's just something that has become a part of me. Not कि like I'm better or superior in some way. It's just a thing that I don't feel connected to posting it that much. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. So my work in design goes out a lot because I get a lot of commission for it, right? Commissioned work. कि हमको say our event is coming up, we need a package of these many flyers and creatives. Yeah. And then they go out in the market, people start seeing it, then they start changing out. Fortunately for me, I've never had to, by God's grace, I've never had to publicize or market. It's always been my work talking for me, and that's I'm so grateful for that. And the community also I have like two sets of pricing as well. एक industry pricing है, एक community pricing है. So that way I've also done my part for the community through that. बहुत बार मैंने बिना charges के भी किए हैं designs. So I think main source of income तो वही है, but it changes. Sometimes I take a pause from designing, focus more on dancing. Then when I'm teaching, that becomes my main source of income. But
yeah. So you are freelancing अब तक?
No, now I've since January, since this year, I've taken up a job, a 9 to 5, because apart from everything that I'm still continuing my freelance work, but apart from everything that I'm doing, I figured that I also need like some sort of stable income to be flowing in to support my family and provide for our needs. तो वो तो है. So now I'm doing 2 shifts. कि अपना एक office and then my freelance work. It gets quite stressful and hectic sometimes. Yeah.
But when you were younger, did you ever think कि मैं सिर्फ डांस से अभी?
नहीं यार. I never wanted to कि सिर्फ इससे ही करना है. I always wanted to do more. I always knew that I want to do more. Okay. That is the only way I could find my sense of peace.
क्योंकि because our audience is mostly dancers, तो अगर समर अभी है 19 साल का या 20 years and he says कि पापा मुझे full time dancing करनी है, what suggestion, what advice, what path you will suggest him?
Uh, I no, I'm good. I would give him choices and consequences. These are your choices. You want to become a full-time dancer? These are your choices. Okay. You will have to be okay with not being able to earn as much as you want to in the beginning. You need to be okay with the fact that it will be slow growth, right? Your exposure might or might not happen the way you want to. You will need to put in physical effort a lot. You will need to put in a lot of your time into it and also money into it. These are your choices. Your consequences are, once you understand the name of the game, you'll figure it out and then you'll start making money. If it is about money, then आपको डांसिंग में full time dancing, what, so I'll ask you, what according to you is full time dancing?
तो आई थिंक डांस में दो चीज़ें मैं कर सकता हूँ. आई टीच द स्किल आई नो और आई शो द स्किल आई नो. तो आइदर आई परफॉर्म या फिर आई टीच के लिए आइदर आई कैन गो वर्कशॉप्स, मतलब कोरियोग्राफी वर्कशॉप्स, या सेकंड इज़ योर रेगुलर क्लासेस. एंड परफॉर्मेंस के लिए आई कैन गो फॉर इंडस्ट्रीज जहाँ पे म्यूज़िक वीडियो शूट होते हैं या फिर स्टेज शोज जहाँ पे होते हैं. तो आई कैन गो टू पीपल जो ये काम देते हैं, जिनके वजह से काम आता है.
Okay.
Yeah, the third thing is social media. I'll keep posting with good video quality and hoping that a lot of people will like it and some brands will come to me कि ये पैसे ले लो और बस हमारा brand.
Okay. Now, how is a full time dancer different from, say, a full time engineer?
Not different.
So, why aren't they earning the same way?
The dancers.
Yeah.
Because सिस्टम डिफरेंट है. एक इंजीनियर को बोला जाता है कि आपको इतना इतना काम करना है, ये प्रोजेक्ट है, आप फिनिश करो या ना करो, आप हमको आवर्स दे रहे हो हमारी कंपनी को, तो हम उसके बदले आपको इतना पैसे दे रहे हैं. डांसर यहाँ पे सेल्फ आइडेंटिटी है, एक सेल्फ एंटिटी है, उसके ऊपर कोई नहीं है, कोई कुछ नहीं बोल रहा, कोई गारंटी नहीं दे रहा.
नहीं, चलो, अब आई एम गिविंग यू द benefit of doubt here. I'm telling you that you are a full time dancer who's working for a big dance company.
तो मैं उनके जो प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं मैं दे रहा हूँ, उनको जहाँ नचवाना है मैं नाच रहा हूँ, उनको जहाँ वर्कशॉप से मैं दे रहा हूँ, एंड दे आर गिविंग मी मनी फॉर दैट एफर्ट्स. जितना एफर्ट ज़्यादा.
So why is full time dancing considered as not a easy career choice?
क्योंकि वर्कशॉप में उतने बच्चे नहीं हैं, मेरी वर्कशॉप में उतने बच्चे नहीं आएंगे तो मुझे उतना परसेंटेज नहीं मिलेगा. जहाँ पे मैं नाच रहा हूँ म्यूज़िक वीडियोज़ या फिर जो, उसमें मेरा पर डे बहुत कम है. तो वो, और ऐसा नहीं है कि मैं रोज़ नाच रहा हूँ, मैं हफ्ते में मान लो मैक्स हफ्ते में 1 शूट मिलना इज़ अ गुड थिंग. तो अगर मैं हफ्ते में 4 शूट कर लिया, महीने में 4 शूट कर लिया, तो मेरे उतने बन नहीं रहे ना जितना एक इंजीनियर एवरेज कमा.
तो इंजीनियर एवरेज कमा रहा है कैसे? थ्रू अ सिस्टम, यू सेड. So as a full time dancer, you need to understand what that system is that will equip you to manage and handle your financial life. मुझे बहुत टाइम तक नहीं पता था, राइट? मैं फ्लो पे जी रहा हूँ. हाँ यार, पैसा हाथ का मैल है भाई, आएगा जाएगा, ये वाला सिचुएशन. I earned a lot through teaching dance, and I would always consider it as, हाँ आया है, ठीक है. I will not be attached to it or whatever. I'll just put it into something else, whatever. Here's the thing that we should all understand is that चाहे वो dancing हो, चाहे वो being a doctor हो, anything, writer, whatever you want to do, whatever your profession is or your career choices, it takes the same intention. The need of your system might be different. जैसे पढ़ाई, right? For an engineer, you're learning about different things, right? For dance, you learn about different things. You're studying different things in different, or maybe similar things in a different way, rather. So as a dancer who wants to do it full time, you need to understand कि मुझे dance marketing आनी चाहिए, मुझे नेटवर्किंग आनी चाहिए, मुझे इन्वेस्टमेंट्स का नॉलेज होना चाहिए, मुझे करंट ट्रेंड्स, करंट डेवलपमेंट्स, हिस्ट्री, कल्चर, ऑथेंटिसिटी, क्वालिटी, ये सारी चीज़ों का मुझे नॉलेज होना चाहिए, मुझे समझ होना चाहिए, coupled with your dancing ability, your learning, your academics in dancing, कि आप कितना सीख रहे हो, कितना समझ रहे हो, कितना अप्लाई कर रहे हो, your practice, your training. Don't get confused with the fact कि मैं तो अपना काम कर रहा हूँ एज अ डांसर, मैं तो प्रैक्टिस कर रहा हूँ, मैं तो वर्कशॉप अटेंड कर रहा हूँ, मैं तो टीच कर रहा हूँ, हो गया ना, अब मुझे पैसे आने चाहिए. ऐसे नहीं होता है. You need to create everything. When you bring it into a business model, you have to think of it from a business perspective, saying कि अच्छा, now how does this business function? There are so many dance studios that opened and shut, right? There are so many dancers who entered the scene and left. There's so many dancers who are also thriving in it, who are making money, whether or not they are in reality shows. There are many dancers who were a part of reality shows but aren't doing it anymore, aren't dancing anymore. Your approach to it has to be open. You need to look at it from the perspective of, like I said, choices. These are your choices, right? आपको ये करना होगा, ये करना होगा, ये करना होगा, ये करना होगा. इसके लिए आप किन चीज़ों पे वर्क करोगे? You're obviously working on yourself. If you're a dancer, you're already working on yourself. The other things, your networking, your marketing, your understanding of money, your finances, उसको आप कैसे मैनेज करते हो, right? These things are so important. You need to build a presentation of you. People are seeing you this way, right? What do you want to achieve as a dancer, as a full-time dancer? Do you want to be a teacher? Do you want to be a performer? Do you want to be like a celebrity dancer? Do you just want to teach? कुछ नहीं, मुझे बस सिखाते रहना है, जितना भी आ रहा है, जैसा भी आ रहा है, whatever your goal is, according to that you set up a system. इतना करना है. अगर मुझे सेलिब्रिटी बनना है तो मुझे अपना मार्केटिंग एकदम तगड़ा रखना है, right? I need to have a strong PR of my own, like that I can do myself. I don't need to depend on any agency. पहले start with your image. Write down a few keywords about yourself that describe you. What are some keywords that describe you? Efficient, graceful, confident, right? Now this will set up a personality of yours. This is my personality. Now how will this personality come across to your audience? You need to set that up in a sheet कि मैं ऐसा content बनाऊंगा. That is why you see brands stick to a certain brand guideline, na? Yeah. My brand doesn't get into that, so I will not do it, right? You will not see like an energy drink brand get into something like say if you even connect it to dancing, if it's like a very classical setup, the energy drink उसमें घुसेगा ही नहीं. Yeah. It doesn't reflect on my brand that way. The same way, it's not like that is bad or this is good or whatever. It is about what works well for you. So you need to come up with that for yourself. For me, what is my image? What is my visual that I'm giving to the audience, right? Who am I as a person? Then you convert it into a certain presentation, you give it to the audience, and then you see if it is working or not working. उसमें से क्या work कर रहा है, क्या नहीं work कर रहा है. The things that are working, you take a note of. अच्छा, people are liking this. Okay, your audience, whoever that audience might be, it might be your students, it might be some directors, it might be casting agencies, anything, whatever your audience is, right? You set it up that way कि मुझे these are the things that are working, let me refine these further. The things that are not working, I will take them out of the equation here, but here I'll keep working on them personally. I'll keep developing it, so कभी ना कभी मुझे इसको add करना ही. Yeah. Then you have a certain like a whole package to give. उसमें से फिर लोग अपना अपना कुछ कुछ निकालेंगे, and then you'll get a more refined version of that final image that you want to present, right? That is why you see a lot of actors, once they start doing something, they stick to it. Yeah. रोमांटिक मूवीज हो रहा है, रोमांटिक मूवीज का एक्सटेंट रहेगा पूरा. बायोपिक्स हो रहे हैं, बायोपिक्स का पूरा एक्सटेंट रहेगा, एक्शन मूवीज हो रहे हैं, पूरा उसका एक्सटेंट रहेगा, राइट? वंस दैट फेड्स ऑफ, that is when they start getting into more stuff. So it is always about constant rebuilding, keeping up with what is, the current thing, and what are you, who you are, and how you want to showcase yourself. This is with anything and everything. ये सब में करना पड़ता है आपको in some form or the other. Dancing में, because you are specifically catering to a certain type of industry, you have to study that industry. You have to see इस industry के ins and outs क्या हैं, and then work around that. मतलब this is my understanding of it. Most of it I don't do, क्योंकि मुझे interest नहीं है. But I understand कि ये ऐसे कर सकते हैं. I know how social media can be handled, but if you look at my social media, it's nothing. You don't see any grid, you don't see head and tail of anything. कुछ भी होता है. So mostly I'm preaching something that I don't practice, but it's just an answer to your question कि ये this is the gravity of the situation कि ये ऐसा चल रहा है.
What are some YouTube videos or channels you want to recommend people to watch?
I am consuming a lot of artists, VFX artists react. The channel is called Corridor Crew.
Corridor Crew.
Yeah, and they react to VFX in movies or series or whatever, and they talk about the technical aspects of it. It's really fun for me to watch कि behind the scenes क्या क्या हो रहा है, how are they translating it, what could have been done better, पहले क्या करते थे, उसको करने के लिए क्या क्या करना पड़ा, what are some practical effects and all of that. So that is something that I'm doing. I've watched a lot of chess content. Chess पसंद है आज तो. Yeah, I love playing chess. So वो है. These days I'm also watching a lot of comedy content. जैसे ये हो गया, India's Got Latent हो गया. Some of those guys are actually talented and there's really मतलब lot of potential in that. समय anyway has a lot of wit, तो देखने में निकल जाता है. डांस कंटेंट में आजकल उतना नहीं देखता मैं, टू बी ऑनेस्ट. मज़ा नहीं आता उतना.
Were you ever into dance theaters वगैरह ऐसे?
I've done a few shows as well. Like I myself, I learned classical dancing just for like a few months because I was performing तांडव. तो वो करने के लिए कुछ तो हैसियत होनी चाहिए, तो थोड़ा बेसिक्स मैंने सीखा था. Then I did a lot of dance theater that way. I also recently directed a couple of pieces, choreographed my own. तो है, there is certain love that I have for that side as well. Yeah.
Have you ever planned to make some like a concept video like crazy?
Yeah. I have a lot of ideas, but those ideas are now they are just like that. अबे यार आना तू कब से वेट कर रहे हैं तेरा. It's just that right now I'm giving priority to some other things in my life, but there are a lot of ideas. They just come like epiphanies and I'm like, oh, ये तो करना पड़ेगा एक दिन. Yes. There are a lot of actually shoots that I've done, a lot of videos that I've shot that I haven't been able to edit yet. So there's already content that is sitting waiting to be edited. But है, काफी कुछ तो है, करना तो बहुत कुछ है. Let's see where life takes me.
I like your unlock your moment का poster.
Yeah, that's my latest love. Not latest, but that's the new growing love for Blender, and I want to bring that again into the dance scene. Like last year, I think I made last or 2022, I think I made creatives for my event, Blame It on the Boogie. Then I made one for Groovy Spot in Boker ka event, and a few others. And then this year UTW के लिए, PDSP के लिए and all. तो इंटरनेशनल आर्टिस्ट से बहुत वो आ रहा है कि भाई तुम्हारे कंट्री में बहुत crazy flyers बनते हैं. So even before they take my name, they talk about India having crazy flyers for. So I like that fact. I like that कि भाई कुछ तो सीन बन रहा है, and I'm a contributor to it. It's not like मेरे वजह से हो रहा है. I know I am a contributor to it, and there are so many other artists who are putting in a lot of creative efforts into their events. So it's been seen, and I think it's a great thing because, like I said, your industry is wide. तो आप उसको एक जगह से मत देखो. नाउ व्हेन यू स्टार्ट लुकिंग एट इट कि हम अरे वी कैन हैंडल एवरीथिंग, वन स्टॉप शॉप फ्रॉम यू नो योर हेड टू टो, एवरीथिंग we can take care of. We have production needs, we have promotional needs, marketing needs, whatever you need, we can do it. So that way I think उसका भी recognition आ रहा है, तो ये अच्छी चीज़ है.
थोड़े मूवी रिकमेंडेशन है आपके पास?
क्लासिक्स देख लो यार. आई एम रिविजिटिंग क्लासिक्स. Goodfellas, Godfather, Taxi Driver,
इनग्लोरियस बास्टर्ड.
Inglorious Bastards. That's a great movie. That's a great movie. Uh, some of the Indian movies, I would say Party. Party is a great movie. That's also an old movie. Choti Si Baat, fun movie. Um,
लाइक लेट्स से बुक्स यू वांट, दीज आर गुड बुक्स यू हैव रेड, या फिर आप यू वांट टू रीड, आपने सुना है बहुत.
one book that I would definitely recommend is The Creative Act by Rick Rubin. Then The Artist's Way. I'm reading another book called Seat of the Soul that was gifted to me. Or lent to me, not sure. But yeah, these I think these are the books I would suggest.
अच्छा अच्छा. म्यूजिक, एल्बम्स, आर्टिस्ट्स.
Listen to Frank Ocean. Listen to, actually, go back. Just go back. Listen to Mohammad Rafi. A few hits of Mohammad Rafi and a few rare ones of his. There are some playlists on YouTube and Spotify that will give you some rare songs. Listen to Mohammad Rafi's quality of the voice quality when he changes when he modulates it, right? It's something that you can, मतलब it's मतलब आप बहुत कुछ सीख सकते हो उसमें से, right? And then listen to Otis Redding. Otis Redding is another amazing artist. There's a song by him, Sitting on the Dock of the Bay. There are many songs, but this particular one I'm revisiting right now. That is why his name came up. And then Eminem, I think उसका जो lyrical ability है ना, it's a case study. You have to just spend time in, like, मतलब ये बंदा ये कैसे सोच रहा है और कैसे उसको बुन रहा है into a piece. It's just amazing.
म्यूजिक वीडियोस.
There's this video. There's a song called Catfish by Doechii, Doechi. उसका वीडियो मुझे बहुत पसंद आ रहा है आजकल. And there's another song called Wait a Minute, Weidamineh. Wait a Minute. That's the title of the song. It's Wait a Minute or Wait a Minute. So that's by Kamau. उसका वीडियो भी मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा. Lil Sims Gorilla, Big Dogs. There are some, like, watch Kerala by Bonobo if you haven't. Amazing music video, one of the best I've ever watched. Bonobo के music videos बहुत अच्छे रहते हैं. Just watch Bonobo music videos. And then Virtual Insanity. Jamiroquai का um, yeah.
Nice. Dance videos?
Mukala Mukabla. uh, Michael Jackson MTV 1995 live performance. Michael Jackson Motown, Billie Jean, Ganesh Hegde मैं दीवाना.
नाइस नाइस नाइस, वेरी नाइस, वेरी गुड रिकमेंडेशंस. एक मैं चीज़ मतलब एज अ फेलो डांसर पूछना चाहूँगा, डू यू सी द पीपल हु आर इन देयर ट्रेनिंग फेज में तो सारे ही हैं, बट लाइक आपने वो देखा है एवटार का वीडियो जहाँ पे एक अंकल इज मतलब द मास्टर इज द मास्टर इज टेलिंग अबाउट चक्रास कि ऐसे तुम ये साफ करोगे तो फ्लो. आपको क्या लगता है कि ये 2-3 ब्लॉकेजेस हैं? Like you can give some music tips. या फिर dance tips.
Biggest blockage is language. Uh, Language has become a barrier. Language is supposed to help you understand, right? It has become a barrier. I don't understand why people only dance to regional music. You can dance to regional music. Nobody can stop you. Can की बात नहीं है. आपको जिस पे नाचना है आप नाच सकते हो, ऐसा कुछ नहीं. But why is world music left unexplored? There is so much Arabic music that is beautiful. There is so much Spanish music that is beautiful. There is so much Asian, like Japanese, Chinese, that's beautiful. Like so much is left unexplored because बस एक ही तरीके से गाने सुनते हैं, and it becomes about just the language कि हाँ ये समझ आता है. But you see, music itself is a language, right? Like what is music? If you think about it, it is sound. So is your speech. It is sound, right? We're using these. मैं इंग्लिश बात कर रहा हूँ या हिंदी बात कर रहा हूँ या मैं तेलुगु में बात करूँ या किसी और लैंग्वेज में बात करूँ. Languages are codes, right? They were created to be able to communicate with your group. Now if you want to understand something, you start learning about it, right? आपको हिंदी आप बात करते 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 सीखे हो. Same way, you spend time with music of a different language, you start understanding it. So I don't understand it when this barrier is formed. नहीं, हमको समझ नहीं आता. So go beyond the language, ना, go beyond the lyrics. Understand that sound is laced on time and it is converted into music और आप उसको सुनते हो. मतलब it's just beautiful ना. Just think about it. There is sound, then you have time. You're choosing which sound goes in which part of the time to make what kind of impact on you. Which frequencies are going in what duration. कितना उसका वॉल्यूम कितना होना चाहिए, राइट? द वेलोसिटी ऑफ इट. कितना उसका टेक्सचर कैसा होना चाहिए. व्हाट इज द टेक्सचर ऑफ द साउंड. व्हाट गिव्स यू विच फीलिंग. कितना कुछ उसमें भरा हुआ है. आप उसमें से अगर बस एक लैंग्वेज को चूज करोगे और बोलोगे नहीं आई एम कंफर्टेबल हियर, देन यू आर स्टॉपिंग योरसेल्फ. तो ये जो ब्लॉकेज है, वेरी बिग ब्लॉक इज language. You can dance to anything you want to, but you can learn and explore so many things. Do it. And I think if you are a leader of the community, if you are someone who's been doing it for a long time especially, it is matlab unequivocally it falls upon you to become a voice, to become like a guiding light, to show people कि ये भी है. So if you are teaching, say if you're teaching house, but you're teaching house on मैं तेरा hero, oh 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 oh, saying that this is house music, then you are keeping the students away from the beauty and the magic that you got from the people that you learned from, right? The history of it, the essence of it. अगर कोई भरतनाट्यम को हिप हॉप पे सिखाएगा, will it make sense? And are you paying your respects to Bharatanatyam or Kuchipudi or Odissi or anything? Right? You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do that to your art form. We see many people fusing it. That's different. Like you wouldn't learn Bhangra on, say, they not like us. कर सकते हो, बट सीखने के लिए आपको भांगड़ा का जो ढोल है, धंग ढक ढक धंग धंग, उसमें भंग भंग धक धक भंग, उसका जो फील आ रहा है, जो वो तुम्बी बज रहा है, उसका जो फील आ रहा है, the way the vocals are, why are they singing that way? They come from a place of farming and having to sing, and so, like, so many things, right? There's culturally, historically, so much involved in it. You learn it, you start learning about it, you will fall in love with music. You won't just listen to it, you become a part of it, you become the music. That is what you want to essentially do as a dancer, right? You want to be the physical embodiment of music. So why are you stopping yourself? For comfort? That's not, it's false. It's false comfort. It's something that you made your mind up about. तो उसको explore करो. I think that was the biggest blockage. Apart from that, being okay with repetition. Repetition is a great teacher, right? It helps you build form. It helps you build stamina. And then learn as much as you can. There is no limit or stoppage to that. So, and be curious. Don't, मतलब अपने आप को judge मत करो for your curiosity. It may sound stupid, but a lot of smart things have come out of stupidity, right? So choose your teachers wisely. Choose a space where you can say and express the way you are feeling. Ask the questions you want to ask, and you're not ridiculed for them. And if they don't know the answers, you are being told that they don't know the answers, but you're also encouraged to seek the answers, and they are willing to learn from you. These are the teachers that you should really look up to and look for, because learning is not about learning one thing. Learning is about understanding the concept of learning. Then you can learn one thing, 10 things, how many ever, but आपका concept of learning, if it is skewed and distorted by ये जो बोल रहा है वही सही है, ये जो बोल रहा है वो गलत है, then you're not allowing yourself to explore possibilities. So yeah, choosing that wisely for yourself, having a space for your curiosity, exploring music, explore music as much as you can, understand sound, find the connection between general life things and the thing that you do. मतलब dancing और daily life में connections ढूंढना शुरू करो. Find rhythm in things that are around you. Find rhythm in your body. Why are your fingers structured the way they are? Why is your body structured the way it is? What is the functionality, and why it is so important for this to function, for this to function? There is rhythm in everything, and then when you start seeing it, it is like you are meeting more and more of yourself. आपको धीरे धीरे दिख ही जाएगा कि हम सब एक ही जगह से निकल रहे हैं, एक ही जगह, एक ही तरीके से सोच रहे हैं, बस एक ही चीज सोच रहे हैं, बस अलग अलग तरीकों से सोच रहे हैं उसको. एंड इट्स रियली रियली गिविंग once you get there. It gives you a lot.
That was very nice. Thank you
For having me. Yes, it was super nice to share all these things with you. I'm looking forward to watching this episode. Previous episodes भी मैंने देखे हैं, so they've been nice, good माहौल. So I think this will also लंबा हो गया, I think.
ठीक है, मस्त मजा है.
मतलब और लंबा कर सकते हैं अगर चाहते हो तो, but I love just sitting and discussing things. and मतलब अभी तो ये मेरा पॉडकास्ट ऐसा हो गया है, बट कभी हम भी बात करेंगे. I would love to know more of your perspectives. I already do through the classes and stuff, but still more.
बिकॉज मैं जब मुंबई आया ना, मैंने, और उससे पहले भी व्हेन आई यूज्ड टू सर्च, तो कुंडू के पेज पे देयर आर सम डॉक्यूमेंट्रीज, और जहाँ पे ऐसे गलियों में यहाँ पे प्रैक्टिस करते थे बी बॉय अक्की है, ये सब वो सब. तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कितना कूल है कि ये सब बस डॉक्यूमेंट हुआ. अभी आप हीरो की बात कर रहे हो, मैं सोच रहा हूँ यार उसके कोई वीडियो होती ना मस्त आफ्टर मूवी ऐसा कुछ, तो कितना मज़ा आता. लाइक यू हैव सो मच थिंग्स टू ऑफर, people have so much thing to offer. मतलब you doing your work और उसको just document करना is different art. हर चीज को document करने वाले लोग भी चाहिए, I think. So that's why this podcast, I think it's
Yeah, doing God's work.
great medium, yeah. है ना? और it's so nice to have you here, and thank you for the place. ये इनका ही घर है, by the way. Yeah. Yes, I hope we'll do another episode very soon.
Oh yes, love to.
तब तक
बहुत
के
कुछ
लिए-
है अभी बात करने के लिए तो.
तब तक के लिए bye bye. See you. Let us know how you find this episode, and please share with your family and friends. And please, do you want to promote something?
Unlock your movement, guys. Promote करने की जरूरत.
साल में एक बार आता है. चलो, see you. Bye bye.